surrounding it. Based on what we know and what is being teased, we are about to get the most pivotal rap release of 2025 so far at the very least, and the most pivotal record that the genre has seen since Kendrick Lamar's GNX. Because really, without the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef in terms of the head-to-head of it all, with this album we are really going to see the after effects of what this has done to rap, and how it has now pretty much created these sides or houses in hip-hop where one is standing for the betterment of the art form and one is standing for the worst of the genre, of course with Drake, Ack, and all that clown shit. He of course was in charge of that. Well, once again, Jay is just showing how he looks out for hip-hop's best interest and is making sure that the best visions and albums are getting the best treatment, as right before Clips began this rollout, they signed a distribution deal with Jay's Rock Nation imprint, which really—
Yo, what's going on YouTube? What's going on? We're back with another banger. Yes sir, today's video we got why Kendrick Lamar and rap's next great moment is about to start tonight. So if you're new here, don't forget that big red subscribe button and that like button. We're on the road to 800 subscribers. The more you guys hit that subscribe button, the closer we get to hitting our goal. So join the family. It costs you $0. I don't want to hear nothing. That being said, let's see what Fantastic Hip Hop is saying about Kendrick Lamar. Let's get it.
Now, when it comes to everything going on in hip-hop right now, with who's about to join Kendrick Lamar on the right side of hip-hop as we see some of the biggest collabs in the history of the genre in the matter of weeks. Really, the rap revolution is about to start with the next moves that are about to come from the biggest heavyweights in the genre possible. And now, before we go any further into this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and as that red button is about to be pressed like we have not seen from a set of rappers in decades when Kendrick and Pusha T release what they have been working on, leave that like so all of hip-hop is ready for what's to come. And now with that said, with the rumblings in the music industry that are happening right now, well, what is very clear is that rappers are terrified right now, because in an era where crash outs and crybabies are still trying to get away with the same old mid music, well, in a time where that already has not been working the way it once was because of what Kendrick Lamar has done, the status quo for the bar of greatness is about to get up even higher. And with the album that has been turned in and with who is involved on this thing and what moments we are gonna see, people are genuinely scared for the release of this new music, because in an era where Kendrick Lamar has already been carrying the genre on his back with the all-time great run he is having, and he has already changed so much just by himself, well, if you thought that one boogeyman was enough, now the other boogeyman in hip-hop is coming back out in none other than Pusha T. And of course, what he is going to be doing is releasing the long-awaited Clips reunion album with his brother Malice and with Pharrell production. And with all of this, while the return of Push and Clips already held enough weight considering the type of track record that every single artist in—
Are y'all excited for Pusha T and Kendrick Lamar's project to come out? Y'all let me know down below in the comments how long y'all been waiting for it, and if you didn't know about it, shit, are you just now finding out about it? Let's get it.
Involved has, beyond just the presence of Push and this iconic duo within this rap album and the moments that are surrounding it. Based on what we know and what is being teased, we are about to get the most pivotal rap release of 2025 so far at the very least, and the most pivotal record that the genre has seen since Kendrick Lamar's GNX. Because really, with how this thing is lining up, it is going to be the Avengers Endgame of rap music, because with Push, Malice, and Pharrell on this album already, and then on top of that, having features and collabs here with Kendrick Lamar, Nas, and now we officially know that Jay-Z has gotten involved. Well, as I said, if you have not already—
never mind, we got Jay-Z and Nas as well confirmed on the project. Okay, this might be a project for sure. Now I'm getting excited. We got all the big MCs on the project. And do y'all feel like Kendrick Lamar might be, you know, throwing disses in some of his features on Pusha T's project? I think it's Pusha T's album or something that's coming out, and they're all on it together. Correct me if I'm wrong down below in the comments. But do y'all feel like he's going to be throwing shots maybe at Joey Badass, Drake, or whoever else that's been releasing disses on him? Y'all let me know down below in the comments.
Be sure to leave that like so all of hip-hop can see what is going on here, because really—
Wait, stop. You're not gonna accept that ridiculous offer for your car accident, are you? What do you mean? Then
with the roster of artists that are going to be a part of this album being that, and really we don't know who else may be on this thing as well. Well, this album is the dream team of team-ups, but beyond featuring a group of artists that you could only ever imagine would do something like this really, aside from the star power, the more you look into this Clips album and the moments that it's trying to produce, all of these names tying back to this record is not a coincidence at all. And with everything that's being involved in this record here, When you really look into what's going on, the goal and intentions are very clear in terms of what message that everyone a part of this thing is trying to send to the rest of the rap game and music industry, which is that in this era where rap has not just been diluted, but because of the
100%.
split that has happened in the genre, because Kendrick actually called things out for what they were, we can see where all of the sides in this thing stand. Well, as rap as a whole has become more
Rap is definitely split right now in the genre. You got real rap, you feel me, and then you got mumble rap and hype rap. It's definitely a split in between, 100%. Before it was just a mix. Now that Kendrick and Drake been beefing, it's definitely it made a gap in between. You feel me? Like you're either a mumble hype rapper or you're a real hip hop artist. You feel me? Y'all get where I'm coming from?
polarizing, and there are so many different factions that are standing against what should be established greatness and just the principles that have held this genre intact. Well, really, beyond the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef in terms of the head-to-head of it all, with this album, we are really going to see the after effects of what this has done to rap, and how it has now pretty much created these sides or houses in hip-hop where one is standing for the betterment of the art form and one is standing for the worst of the genre, of course with Drake, Ack, and all that clown shit. And now, because of the sheer nature of this and because all these artists align against Drake, of course the Drake stans are going to be up in arms when this thing comes out, and they're going to try to say that all these guys are obsessed with Drake and they're clicking up against him once again. This is not going to be the case, and the responses that
I mean, they're 100% going to be throwing shots at Drake. I know Pusha T is definitely going to be throwing shots. You feel me? Maybe Nas or Jay-Z, I don't really know. I don't know too much if they've been involved in the beef. Personally, I don't think so, or Fantastic Hip Hop would have most definitely put his 2 cents in, you feel me, and said what they said. But y'all can let me know down below in the comments if they have mentioned or, put their 2 cents into the beef. That being said, I feel like Kendrick Lamar might throw a couple shots, you feel me, because Drake is still always talking shit and trying to show the world fake shit about Kendrick Lamar. Come on now, all that shit's been debunked, you feel me? But I feel like, yes, there's definitely going to be at least 2 of them throwing shots at Drake, 100%.
Finally going to be coming from these other names that are not Kendrick Lamar who are a part of this record, are all going to be warranted and really needed due to the way that Drake and this other side of hip-hop has handled this entire era and moment that we have been in. And really, when we look in the grand scheme of this all for Drake, and in this era where before Kendrick stepped in, he was trying to diss and beef with somebody like Pharrell in the strangest.
I melt down the chains that I bought from Yo Boss. Give me a fuck about all of that haterage. Fuck.
Ways possible. Again, when you actually track back why so many of these people have turned on Drake and now why they are standing on different sides of the genre, it's all due to Drake's own decisions. And even with Pusha T, beyond their beef being settled, let's remember that before Kendrick came at Drake was still dissing him on Scary Hours 3 on a track like Wickman. And I mean, while Pusha's already won that beef, and I'm sure he won't have much to say in terms of actually igniting another back and forth, because we know Drake doesn't want that. I am still sure that Push is going to have some cold one-liners that will speak for him and Pharrell and how they have now really won this entire moment, which of course all stems full circle back to an issue that Pharrell and Clips had with Birdman multiple decades ago. And now beyond Push and Clips, who really are more of a vehicle to create this moment here, what is of course making this thing even more exciting is the fact that we are going to hear Kendrick Lamar on this album, which is almost 100% confirmed, especially after we saw Kendrick Lamar going to a studio after Push was talking about the record and said that he was waiting for one more verse.
Wait, is this when he was in New York? Y'all let me know. Y'all remember the reaction we did where Fantastic Hip Hop was talking about Kendrick Lamar stopping in New York, I believe after one of his tour dates, and it was suspected of him doing a feature or making another record. You feel me? Is this when he did that verse for Pusha T? Y'all let me know down below in the comments.
Verse, and then after that we literally saw Push do an entire side quest where he followed Kendrick to his Gillette Stadium show on the Grand National Tour. And with this, we are about to see peak, as we are really going to see a rapper who is actually on Kendrick's level work with him and really see what they can do in what is going to be the ultimate victory lap and the ultimate moment where Drake is just going to realize that he should have never messed with these two rappers who he had no business dealing with.
Trying to outsmart nicotine?
And And now beyond Kendrick and Push, which is already pretty much as big as you could possibly get, what is going to make this record even bigger and the stakes even higher, and really even in terms of the collabs, could be more eye-opening, because there is a rumor out there that Kendrick, Push, and this all-time legend are on the same song here, is the involvement of none other than Jay-Z with this record, and now with Jay. Well, if Kendrick Lamar is the franchise player...
That would be tough. Kendrick Lamar, Pusha T, and Jay-Z on one song? That is gonna be some bars, you feel me? All bars. I don't think we'll probably hear one repeated line in that song. Real shit. That is not me dick riding or anything. That's just me keeping it real. Those are 3 MCs. I don't see now one line being repeated at all. I feel like it's just gonna be bar after bar after bar after bar. Then it's gonna be Jay-Z, bar after bar after bar, Pusha T, bar after bar. You feel me? I feel like that would be a good ass song. Actually, if they did drop a date that they're gonna drop the song, let me know down below in the comments. If not, then shit, we'll wait and we'll see what these 3 have to say on whatever the song's gonna be called. You feel me?
On this side of hip-hop, and Push is another star who's coming in. Jay is like the general manager or player coach at this point, because beyond just being the guy who made sure that Kendrick was able to get on that Super Bowl stage after the run that he had, which he of course was in charge of that, well, once again, Jay is just showing how he looks out for hip-hop's best interest and is making sure that the best visions and albums are getting the best treatment, as right before Clips began this rollout, they signed a distribution deal with Jay's Rock Nation imprint, which really does tell us so much about what's happening here. As now with Jay and his team literally having the job to push what is going to be the biggest rap album of the year arguably, and what one of the most anticipated records you could get is, we can almost guarantee now.
I thought it was just one song, but it's an album. So they might be on multiple songs. This is actually going to be good. Y'all let me know if y'all do know the album drop date. Okay, now we got it right. It's an album, not a song. Let me know if y'all know that. Let's get it.
That after Push has been talking about these mystery features and these big name artists that he has been waiting for to fill in their verses, that between that and the actual industry obligation that he now has, Jay is gonna be on this album as well, because as Hove knows, a verse from him alongside a Kendrick and Nas feature will make this album one of the most stacked records really ever in terms of the talent on it. That's already going to do wonders for this album, but beyond Hove, who knows how to take over any industry that he is in, Jay of course has so much to say in this time, because really due to his role in this era of hip-hop and all the criticism that he has gotten, and even the beefs and disses that he has received from some older friends that he's had in the worst and most disrespectful ways, I think we all can expect that Jay is going to finally deliver that 4 or 5 minute verse that we have all been waiting to hear, really, where he is going to call out, diss, address, and flex to everybody that has been coming his way, every single thing that he possibly can, in a way that is just going to once again prove that he is one of the greatest rappers of all time. And now really, in all honesty, as we have been waiting now for almost 3 years since Jay delivered one of the best verses ever on an awful DJ Khaled album, and we have really not heard him do any sort of these big addresses since then, he is overdue, and the time has never been more perfect. And again, from Push to Kendrick to Jay to even Nas, with them all having a reason to just deliver all-time great material. Because really, in this era where the genre has split, whether they have been criticized or they have just supported Kendrick when more MCs are jealous, these names are in a league of their own and are really standing as the gatekeepers of hip-hop, whether you want to look at current acts or legends. I mean, when you just look at things like that, it makes sense why everything is coming around in this exact record the way it has, and why the expectations are scaring the entire industry and genre, because again, this is literally people's Mount Rushmore of rappers all being featured on one album, and who knows if they are going to be on the same songs together and how that's all going to end up. And you know that these guys are going to use their pen with the utmost skill, and they are going to call out rappers that they want to address, and they are going to send nightmares to everybody who is not in this thing for hip-hop, whether that's Drake or anybody else where the shoe fits. 100%. And now, while I am sure that this record is going to change the status quo as a whole, and if Kendrick, Push, and Jay are writing and rapping against one another on a song, you just know that the competition and greatness that it will bring will truly be unmatched and unprecedented, and it really probably will be one of the greatest moments we ever hear. While all of this talent should, and I will say will, give us an album of the year contender and a rap record that we are going to talk about for a very, very long time to come. Why this record is really going to cause such a major stir and shakeup in the industry is because all of these names are going to create an absolute nightmare when they address every single thing that they need to. And I think it will cause quite the reactions, and even with Pusha T really being the architect who is more responsible for what we are going to see than anybody else here. Just as Push has from era.
How many beefs does Pusha T have? Y'all let me know. Is he just beefing with Drake as well, or is he beefing with other people? Because I know Joey Badass as well has been talking shit, and I believe Pusha T has also been beefing with Joey Badass, and I know Joey Badass is trying to beef with Kendrick Lamar. So there's gonna be a lot of dissing in this one album. I guarantee that it's gonna be a shit ton of disses, man. So lock in, get ready. Y'all let me know if y'all know any other info down below in the comments.
Era, whether it was getting with Pharrell and clips in the 2000s or working with the guy who he made Runaway with and who I am sure he will get dissed on this record as well in the 2010s, which made him a solo star who had a consistent producer and rotation. Push really has this intangible which has made him really a better MC than anybody else from his era at this point, which is that he is always ready to reach the next major point of artistic evolution and is always getting genuinely more entertaining as a performer on the mic, and this is what's made album after album of his get more great and always offer something interesting and unique in an era where generally everything in rap feels more stale. And I mean, this is why even with Push's last album, It's Almost Dry, it somehow became his first #1 despite him being over 20 years in his career, and again, nobody does things like that besides Push. And so really with this, while this Clips album will offer something very different, I don't think it's going to break Pusha T's trend of just offering some of the most consistent and exciting experiences in all of rap music, and really with the features and moments that Push seems to be putting all together. It really seems like Push is directly responsible for putting together these moments that are going to leave people talking about rap music and what happened on this very album for a very long time. And really with the level that Push generally does these things at, I think it's going to reshape and redefine the genre to some extent as we know it. And really, to be honest, when we contextualize the stakes of this all in this moment, not just for Push, but even for Kendrick Lamar especially, it almost seems like this album will be the lyrical and real version of what something like Future and Metro Boomin's We Don't Trust You was in terms of the sentiment that all of these MCs are drawing a line together and they will not stand with anybody else in this ever-growing superficial rap game unless they are locking in with the same principles that they have. And as Kendrick Lamar, I am sure to some level, definitely thinks it's whack that somebody like Future and others like him from that era have backpedaled on Drake and want to be cool with him, or have just made their disses seem more performative now as they are not standing in them like he has. I think Kendrick is taking this opportunity to stand next to legends who have always stood by their pen no matter what, to really solidify that the rap game doesn't even need these people who don't take the craft seriously anymore, and that Kendrick is going to be competing and moving the genre forward with the best of the very best, not just in this era, but ever. And I think all of that is going to give Kendrick the only reason he needs to just deliver another verse of the year candidate and really deliver a moment that I am sure will leave all of us talking for so long, and that will create a whole other ripple effect of problems for all the crash outs and crybabies. And really with all of this coming in and with so many different possibilities of what this record is actually going to do, I really think that we are going to be getting a classic with this record. And now however this combination of Push, Nas, Malice, Kendrick, Jay-Z, and Pharrell all end up actually working with one another and complementing their vision, I think that every single one of these legends is going to let everybody else in hip-hop know that the lines have been drawn and that they are going to lead this charge forward. And now especially for Pharrell, but more importantly Jay, Push, and Kendrick, one of these guys or all of them is going to run away with a moment like we have never seen. And because of that, at this point and as the rollout is getting closer, all we can do is just sit back and wait to watch and really see what peak hip-hop is going to look like in a fashion where Kendrick Lamar is not just standing by himself and carrying the genre, but he now hasn't just brought out good rappers from his current era, but he has brought out some of the best legends of all time to support him. And so now with all of this said, let me know,
bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. He has a lot of MCs around him, supporting him, and also doing collabs with him. I'm telling you, bro. That's gonna be a good ass album, bro. Let me know if y'all are excited for Pusha T's album, wherein he has 4 other MCs on his album as well, and he might have other people. Those are just the confirmed ones. You feel me? This shit is crazy, bro. I feel like real rap is officially back, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feeling about that. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch y'all in the next video.